known what they were going to say after his speech closed, I would have recorded the program. But unfortunately, I was not into recording news at that time. As soon as he closed his speech, what did Wolf Blitzer of CNN, Wolf Blitzer, by the way, is also a former Israeli Mossad, in case you didn't know that. Wolf Blitzer said to the American people, "We have just heard a speech from a man who could be our future president." Did you hear me, Brother Larry? Right after Barack Hussein Obama closed his speech at the Democratic Convention for John Kerry, Wolf Blitzer of CNN said, "We have just heard from the man who could be our future president." Now, let's put things in perspective. There was never a black president before, right? There was only one black senator, and there's one current one right now, and Hussein Obama was another. And they all coincidentally hail from the state of Illinois. There are 50 states in the United States. There are very liberal states in this country. Explain to me how none of these other states elected an African American senator. Yet, an inexperienced, unknown individual named Barack Hussein Obama jumps out of nowhere, gets an easy ride to the Senate seat. That's right, I said easy. He went unchallenged, and of course, Uncle Tom Allen Keyes was no challenge as he did not even live in the state of Illinois. So people already knew that Allen Keyes was not going to win. No one wants to vote for someone who wants to move to your state just to get a quick Senate seat. But that was all a charade anyways. The whole goal of that race was simply to make it appear as if Barack Hussein Obama had an actual challenger for the seat as opposed to the seat being given to him. That was an easy ride, similar to the way Cory Booker had an easy ride to become mayor of Newark, New Jersey. Now, Barack Hussein Obama was in the U.S. Senate. He argued a bit, made a little noise, and was always hailed as the savior. And he remained squeaky clean because he had to be squeaky clean as they positioned this pseudo Negro to become president of the U.S. And keep in mind, Brother Larry, Barack Hussein Obama was going to be president of the United States, whether you liked it or not. But the whole point of preparing us for him was to get us to like him. And by us, I mean white people in particular. Because these same powers that be provide racism and keep racism alive. Just for this open window to put Barack Hussein Obama in office, they had to calm down on the racism. Just a little bit, just enough to get him in. And they were successful in that. But of course, during the Democratic primary for president, They had to address the race issue at one point in time, and they did. Now, there were no conclusive answers to it, but they addressed it. And furthermore, let me say this. They called Barack Hussein Obama an African American just for the race. Because Barack Hussein Obama is not an African American. Barack Hussein Obama is not a descendant of slaves. Barack Hussein Obama's black side is not from us. He's only an African American in the technical sense of the word, that his father was allegedly an African and his mother was a white American. You put the two together, you have African American. But more specifically, Kenyan American is what he should be called, if that's his father. Now, I saw a documentary. Maybe you should watch it. I'll give the name out. Dreams from My Real Father. Watch that. That'll convince you that Barack Obama is not Barack Hussein Obama's father. And if the guy who they say, Frank Marshall Davis is his name, if that guy is indeed Barack Hussein Obama's father, which he does look exactly like him, then this would make Barack Hussein Obama an American. Well, excuse me, an African American, just not the type as presented. Now, Barack Hussein Obama had an easy ride to the Senate. The Democratic primary was just a test to see how well the man can handle himself and to show that he was squeaky clean. It is clear that Hillary Clinton was a racist. She was expected to win the nomination. They clearly brokered a deal with her later on. Told her to be Secretary of State. You still get a senior position in the cabinet, but we need Barack Hussein Obama for our mission. Joe Biden. This man criticized Barack Hussein Obama more than Hillary Clinton. And he's all out racist. Why do you think Biden was selected not by Barack Hussein Obama to become vice president? He didn't choose him. It was all chosen. See, Barack Hussein Obama is following a script. The minute Barack Hussein Obama goes off script, that's his ass. That's why they have Joe Biden, an experienced senator for 40 years. He is part of the establishment. The man has been serving in U.S. politics probably as long as Barack Hussein Obama has been alive. People shouldn't be allowed to serve that long. Barack Hussein, I know what you're saying. Well, how can Joe Biden be in there to serve if Barack Hussein Obama goes off script? Again, John F. Kennedy, the Honorable John F. Kennedy. This man had a script in front of him that they prepared for him. He was supposed to go by it, rehearse it, and read it. But John F. Kennedy had his own script. John F. Kennedy thought that being president, he would exercise the powers of the presidency as he chose. Even though John F. Kennedy and his family are part of the establishment of money, and John F. Kennedy was a senator and had served in the Navy as well, John F. Kennedy decided to go off script. The Bay of Pigs. That was a way for the CIA to pressure John Kennedy into making decisions that they had already planned out, including your man Richard Nixon, who also drew up plans for Vietnam because they assumed that Richard Nixon was going to be the president of the United States. But John Kennedy snuck in. Some say he stole the election with Chicago mobsters. There goes Chicago again. Now, as soon as John Kennedy kept going off script during the Cuban Missile Crisis, are you aware that the military of the United States wanted to go to a nuclear war with the Soviet Union during the Cuban Missile Crisis? It was John F. Kennedy that saved the world. He decided not to engage in a nuclear conflict. They didn't like him for that. They wanted war. It was also John F. Kennedy who did not want to go to war in Vietnam. He's on film saying that. They didn't like that either because they wanted war. Some say Vietnam was over the drug trade. Some say it was over other natural resources, the least of which concerning communism. The United States ultimately got defeated in Vietnam as John Kennedy had predicted. Clearly, the CIA and the U.S. government on a whole had enough of John Kennedy. They realized that this man is not going to do what he's told. He's going to do what he wants to do. So they had to deal with him. Now, Barack Hussein Obama is in a similar position. And every president after John F. Kennedy has been in the same position. What are the clues? Well, Brother Larry, you've seen it. When Barack Hussein Obama was the nominee, he went into a deli. You remember that episode when the guy came up to Barack Hussein Obama and said, "I wanted to take your picture." He was up on the guy. Do you think that guy was a random fan, Brother Larry? Or you think he was part of the government? Giving a warning to Barack Hussein Obama. You have the Secret Service right next to him. The Secret Service didn't bother to do a thing. They gave a warning to Obama, one of many, saying, "My man, if you get out of line, we're giving you this White House. But if you get out of line, we can get your ass anytime." That was but one warning. There was another warning. When the couple crashed the White House. Of course, whenever someone crashes the White House, they always say it's a lack of judgment, failure of intelligence. But in this case, it was calculated to give Barack Hussein Obama yet another warning. If you get out of line, you'll get dealt with, and we'll have a good excuse, better than Lee Harvey Oswald. What was the other warning? When they found skinheads, and you might remember this since you're an Obama fanatic, when they had skinheads allegedly plotting to kill Obama. That's another excuse. If they need to deal with Obama, white racists did it. What was the other warning?